So I got to start by telling a little bit of a personal story. I just started my second term in Congress, and when I first decided to run, my cousin who used to work at Forterra in Seattle in your area said, "Oh, you got to come out here and meet a bunch of my friends." And so we went out, and this was a campaign side event, and I realized this is official, but ended up just meeting a lovely group of people out there in Seattle, including Dennis Hayes, and spending a long time talking about the issue nearest and dearest to my heart, which is climate change. I've spent 20 years before running for Congress building a number of clean energy companies, and basically decided to run for Congress because I didn't feel like I could pull big enough levers in the private sector for the scale of what had to be done. And about 2 weeks after I left that trip, I got an email back from Dennis and a bunch of my hosts and said, "Oh, we just got the whole gang back together. They had a great time talking to you, and we brought in Bill Ruckelshaus to talk about how he basically rescued the EPA from Ann Gorsuch. Yes, that Gorsuch, mother of, when he came in to be Reagan's EPA director." Now, I mention that because environmental protection didn't used to be partisan. Bill Ruckelshaus was Nixon's first EPA administrator, essentially created the EPA, and was then the sixth EPA administrator under Reagan. Bill and his protege, Bill Riley, another friend of mine, created the Montreal Protocol, which was a Republican-led global initiative to agree to put a price on pollution and come up with a global trading mechanism, in that case for chlorofluorocarbons, to close the ozone hole. They then used that same model to create a domestic program in the 1990 Clean Air Act amendments to create an acid rain trading program. These are Republican ideas, right? So don't think about this as a partisan battle. The Montreal Protocol passed the Senate 83-6. The Clean Air Act amendments, I believe, may have been unanimous, but it was in the 80s as well. Never was filibustered. And unfortunately, what happened since is that this became a totally weaponized tool to block progress on climate. And, so fast forward 10 years later, Waxman-Markey was going to try to be passed, and Harry Reid said, "It's easy to count to 60 and we don't have the votes." And so we have this problem, which is that here you have something that is overwhelmingly popular with the American people, that is overwhelmingly urgent for the sake of our planet, that people are favorably disposed to across all political persuasions of the country, and take that as a source of great optimism because we got public will. We got the votes in the House. We got the votes in the Senate. The problem is that the Senate, because of the filibuster, is a minoritarian institution. It is not a majoritarian institution. And there are thankfully a minority of senators, not Senator Padilla certainly, but there are a minority of senators who are opposed to the Enlightenment and are still living in a Stone Age worldview of what the world wants to be. Now that's a minority, but we have to fix it to get through. And I would say take that with inspiration, because that is so true of so many things we face, from immigration reform to gun violence protection to voting rights. All of these things are supported by overwhelming majorities of Americans. And as I said in an event I was on with Adam Jentelson last night, I think the great inspiration of Americans is that we were founded on the idea that as Americans, when we see something as broke, we fix it. We were founded by people who didn't like the situation in their own home countries, and at least the ones who came here volitionally came to fix it and make a better life. The folks who were brought here involuntarily, motivated with the Great Migration to go make a better life. Our founders created a constitution that could be amended. We're not perfect, but we have a tremendous motivation to fix things. And so I would submit to you that we have a patriotic obligation to fix what's broke right now, and that's getting rid of the filibuster. So thank you for leading on this.